64 Caddy Street, ready to start. At a quarter to one, just a looking for fun.
Hey, hold on one sec. I'm gonna let y'all talk. I gotta go wipe my child's butt.
Hey, been there, done that today.
Yeah. Here we go. I'll be right back.
All right, cool. Sounds good, Aaron. No, his house looks awesome, man. I love houses with like the big open floor plan.
Open concept.
Yeah.
Very American of you.
Thank you. I try to stay true to my roots, Andrew. What's going on with you today?
Huh? What have I been doing today?
Yeah, what's going on?
So Malia's playing in a softball tournament, and so I was there this morning, and then now I'm getting ready to work on football and stuff like that. Usually every day at noon, or not every day, every Sunday at noon, I come up here and I do some work before we start meeting at 2 for our football stuff. So just a normal Sunday for me.
All right. It sounds fun. How's sports going for you? How's coaching in general? You still love it?
It's been a little bit rough, but we won on Friday. Actually, I guess we played Thursday. Game got moved. We won on Thursday, and if we win this week, which we should, we are gonna we'll make the playoffs again, and hopefully we can make a little run in the playoffs, and we'll see what happens.
All right. I detect a little medium confidence there.
No, like I feel good about winning. We got to be we haven't been very consistent this year. It's hard to be good when you're not consistent. So we'll see.
You guys throwing the ball more, or are you still with that 19?
No, we throw the ball quite a bit. We're probably pretty close to 50-50 run throw.
Really?
But yeah, I'd say pretty close. I can look it up and see, but yeah.
Cool. And you guys, it sounds like you have some sort of data analytics program involved.
Yeah, we have this thing that's called a Cover Zero Analytics, where it does a bunch of self scouts for us. It goes over these like factors of winning a game, and kind of what you need to do to win a game and how you're doing at them and stuff like that. And so we get a lot of self scout stuff, a lot of scout from the other films and everything. And so it's definitely changing and evolving.
Well, you sound like a coach, Andrew.
I thought you were going to say you are the analytics. I figured you'd be firing out spreadsheets and or at least
we have the program that does all the spreadsheets for us. But film has changed a lot, and it's actually really cool how much you can share and how easy it is to do everything. Whoever came up with this huddle stuff has made a lot of money and made a coach's jobs a lot easier. So greatly appreciate whoever did it.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm proud of you, man. I think you found your passion in life, and we're all proud of you for it.
Definitely did. Appreciate it.
You got it. And like I said just a moment ago, you sound like a coach. The way you talk, it's like you're talking to a reporter right now. You're talking to a reporter almost.
Well, there's a bunch of stuff that like a lot of people don't really like. It's hard for them to understand if you're not kind of in the world, and I can just bore you with a bunch of like nonsense or whatever, but just try and give you the meat and potatoes of everything and cut down the words per minute a little bit.
Well, I think it's cool, right? Like back in the day, if you think about Jarrell Cougar football back in like the early 2000s, it was run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, do your best to not throw the ball. And now I think you have like a more dynamic offense, which is more fun, right? Instead of just trying to run it down somebody's throat, you can actually like come up with some pass plays.
Yeah.
And I always wondered, like growing up in Jarrell, I always wondered why they didn't throw the ball more. They had Kyle Lloyd.
I think it wasn't like spread wasn't a big thing then yet. And so like with spread, it's opened up offenses a lot more. It's a lot more mainstream now. There's a lot of different ways to learn about it, read about it, watch YouTube videos about it, get online clinics about it. And so it's just
bonus miles honestly,
it's a way to get your athletes.
Hey, real quick. Sorry, Andrew. Sorry. Everybody mute if you're not talking, if you don't mind, just so I couldn't hear for a second there. I apologize. Sorry, Andrew. Go ahead.
No, you're good. It's just I was saying it's a great way to get your athletes to play football. Like your athletes are kind of your like basketball players, if you will. If you can get your athletes to play football and they, spread the game out a little bit, create one-on-one matchups, it makes the game a lot more fun, a lot more exciting, a lot more fun to coach, a lot more fun to play. And if it's a lot more fun, typically people do better and like it more. So what it's about.
I love it.
And plus, you're never out of a game.
Yeah, that's also true. All right, cool, man. Well, that's good. Aaron, what's going on with you, man? What's new? So obviously, new job. You're the big boy out there now. What's going on?
Yeah, just a new job, basically. New job title. Things really haven't changed all that much, honestly. Other than I get a whole bunch of data and analytics thrown at me, but right now I'm so dumb. It just is numbers on a paper. So I'm feeling my way through it. But that's about it, really. Just a new place. We've only been in Jonesboro 2 years now. So still getting to know it and getting to know the people. This is where I was actually born, and my grandparents lived here, and my dad grew up here. So technically fifth generation in this town. So, but I just didn't grow up here. So I'm having to bridge a gap of about 30 years.
But just by the luck of life and through promotions and stuff, you got to move back to where you were born. What are the odds of that?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. And so your new job title is you're president of the bank, right? So you're running how many branches?
So yeah, my new job title is market president. We only have 3 branches in this town. But so if you look at Arkansas on a map, it's square-ish. And so we're in the northeast corner, top right corner of the state. And this is the top of the Mississippi Delta. So this whole region is kind of underserved, and like we're the farthest east market that the bank has. And so there's a lot of room for growth in this area. But it's a tricky area because the population's declining. So it's like, how do you grow with a declining population? But there is job and industry here. So it's just, I don't know, getting to know it still. So
congrats, man. It's a big role. So we're proud of you. What are you drinking there? A COG? Oh, LaCroix. Look at you being healthy. Well done. Hey, I think Josh Stone joined the chat here or the video. Josh, are you there or? He said 1 minute. All right, he's going to join in just a second. Yeah, I think he's probably getting his pants back on or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining. I know it's tough with the families and the kids, and I kind of wanted to ask you. So, Aaron and Andrew as well. So, how old are your kids now, and how are they doing?
You want to go first, Bill?
yeah, sure, I can go first because I got 2 right here in front of me. So that's Archie, or his name is Arch Bell. He is 2. And the pantsless one with his butt out is Atwood. He's about to turn 4. So anyway, yeah, those are the 2. They're doing good. Archie's got a big knot on the top of his head. He was outside helping us garden earlier and fell and hit the tree, one of those beautiful juniper trees. So yeah, they're good. They're responsible for all of this. And apparently I'm responsible for cleaning it up, and I'm not very good at it. But they're good. Yeah, that's it. They're both. Atwood has gone through 1 soccer academy camp. We haven't done any leagues yet, just because 3-year-old soccer, they just run around like crazy. Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. Anyway, we haven't done any leagues, so he's done 1 season of soccer, and then right now, him and Archie are in like a golf camp. Yeah, it's just a 1 day a week thing, 45 minutes, and they go up to the golf course and do something. So they're doing that. My wife's actually been playing a lot of tennis. She was a tennis player in high school, and Allie, she just won state in tennis competition. So pretty cool.
What does that mean? She just won it?
Yeah, so they have I'm learning all this. So like the USTA has all these levels. So they start at 2.0. It's like your basic beginner, and it goes up in half increments. So 2, 5, 3, 0, 3, 5, 4, 4, 5, 5. Then it goes up, and your pros, I guess, they're more like 7 or something like that. And so if you live in a city in the US, they'll have some kind of like tennis league, and if they're enrolled in the USTA, they'll classify your players, and you play in a league, and you'll have some kind of governing body. Like we have USTA Arkansas, and so you get put in these leagues. And so anyway, she joined this league last year, and she was so they have state and regionals and nationals and all that crap. So she's been doing a lot of that. She's really liking it.
Well, ask her if she wants to join the GFL, so we don't have to get Nate Sumner in here to whoop all of our butts. That would be great. But what about you, Andy?
So I got 3 kids. Malia is 8 right now. She's playing a lot of softball right now. In the winter, she'll play basketball. I'm gonna teach her to start hurdling and track when she gets to 10. But honestly, we're very active. She's in 2nd grade in Zion. And then my middle one, Katya, is 4. She'll be 5 actually in 2 or 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I guess. She'll be 5 in 3 weeks. She goes to Zion, and she's in pre-K. She just does like T-ball and stuff right now, so she's not playing any league ball or like any of the travel stuff. Like Malia plays travel ball, but it's like very local. We kind of pretty much stay within Waco, Temple, Georgetown, kind of on 35 or whatever. And then Jacoby is 3. He's in pre-K at Zion, so we just have one stop, which is extremely nice. Not that I do any of it, but it's nice for Mallory and her parents and stuff like that. But he'll be playing, I guess they call it pre-T-ball this year for the first time, and he's pumped about it. He's already been asking, like, are the cheerleaders going to come to my games from, like, the football games and stuff like that? And I said, well, probably not. He goes, what about the Cougar? Nope, Cougar's probably not coming either, but, you get good enough, we'll see. But honestly, my house is a lot like Belle's. There's just toys scattered everywhere. Like last night, Jacoby was on the back porch. He's got this little like toy stick horse deal, and he loves the movie Spirit. And so he rides that horse, and like he just gets his face and like, and like it's just it's intense. But he loves being active. Katya the same deal. Like they play together. Like they're up at the fields all the time, just playing. They're great kids. Not to say they don't piss me off sometimes, but for the most part, they're great kids and they're active. And I have probably not had a dinner at home with my family because of our schedules and Mallory's schedule, and probably the whole month of October. So we're very busy, but it's great. Love it. Wouldn't change it for anything.
Awesome, man. Well, congrats on the new house build. Actually, I think it might be a year or 2 old. I'm not sure. I could be behind the 8 ball here.
My house is like in December. I think we'll be at year 6 already.
Holy moly! Really? I didn't know it was that old. Well, that's awesome. Yeah. And then you guys had the draft there. I think all the boys came over for the draft. All the guys that were lucky enough to show up in person. That looked it sounded cool anyway. I'm sure that was fun to catch up.
We had a good time. A little small reunion, if you will.
Yeah. All right, well, let's welcome in Josh Stone, baby, the pilot, Mr. First Place in the GFL, looking cute as always. Hey, Josh, what's up, man?
I don't think you can classify a tie as first place, but we'll see what happens when I hit that forever hung again, you know?
We're in last place. You don't have to worry about us. Don't worry about it. All good, man. Good to see you guys. Hopefully we can do this every single week. A couple things I want to talk about. Obviously, what's going on in y'all's lives. Josh, what's new with you?
Well, been sitting in New Orleans for a couple of days, so we were able to snag a decent hotel a block off Bourbon Street. So me and my co-pilot have been having a good time. He's actually from New Orleans, so we went out to a Halloween parade last night and got to experience some of the culture. And back home, finally settled into a pretty good routine with my ex. So I've been getting to spend some good time with my baby girl, which is definitely the highlight of this chapter of life right now. And professionally, we were just acquired by some investors out in Las Vegas. Our company was bought. The organizational structure is going to stay the same. So my bosses will stay the same. My position will stay the same, as well as some others. But how censored is this podcast, Xavier?
Not at all.
Okay. All right. So these people have what we like to say is fuck you money, right? They can do whatever they want. They buy these $25 million planes cash. And so we're pretty excited about that. We've been a pretty small operation dealing with, people that still have more money than I could ever hope to have. But we've been flying planes that are from like the 90s, and apparently that's old to rich people. So we're really excited for someone to come in, bring some fresh aircraft, some fresh cockpit, nice leathers, Wi-Fi on board, bigger aircraft, and they want to go international. So hopefully in the next 2 years, we'll see some fly new planes with maybe some international flying.
Now, how does that work? So you guys bring in new models of different airplanes. You got to do training, or can you fly anything at this point?
No, you get trained specifically for that aircraft. So basically, it's like Uber, except the cars are owned by the individuals because it's too expensive for Uber to buy the cars.
Gotcha. Well, if those investors fall
and then
through,
you rent it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was just saying. Then you rent a driver, right? Someone that's trained to drive that car or fly that plane.
Yeah, I was just saying that if the investors fall through, you call Aaron Bell. He's got access to unlimited money these days, so he'll buy you a G650, no problem, pal. All right.
There might come a day soon where I see his name on the load manifest, and I'm like, oh man, Marquis style.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, good. Keep flying around.
I have financed a couple planes for people with some fuck you money.
Yeah, that's a big loan note there.
Yes, it is, and good thing to have fuck you money. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
I guess the easiest way to get a loan nowadays is to prove you don't need one.
Let me tell you, boys, the fact that Bell has financed planes means that his bank doesn't fuck around. All right, fuck you money. People come to him, and he gives them fuck you loans.
It helps that the owners of our bank are pilots. They're like third generation pilots, and so they fly their own jets and whatever, and so like they're into it. So if someone comes to me like, I want to buy this certain plane, I immediately go to them and go like, what is it? You tell me yes or no, because I don't have a clue, so I can't even pretend to act like I know what I'm talking about.
Now, out of pure curiosity, do you know what any of the planes that your bosses own or that y'all financed are?
I couldn't tell you about the financing, but the ones they own. Let's see. I'm trying to remember the name. So one of them has like a Beechcraft King Air something. But then, like the jets, I guess that the bank owns are Citations. I don't, but I couldn't tell you what kind. I don't, just Citation C3 or C. I don't know.
You know that it's a fair chance that they fly something that I fly.
Oh, really?
So
okay, cool.
Yeah. I've flown Citation 2s, 3s, 6s, 7s. So that's pretty cool. I kind of figured that they might be Citation guys. The private market really loves those. They're perfect for that size.
I don't ever get to fly on it. I've flown on the Citation once, and the King Air once as well. No, twice. Other than that, I don't get the invitation.
Well, you've sat in the back of a plane a lot more than I have, so.
I would assume you'll probably get more invitations now, Aaron. You're kind of the guy, right? So I think more of those will be coming your way. Congrats, man. Cool, man. A couple things I want to talk about. So, just in terms of college football, I think we all still pay attention to it, at least sometimes. What do you guys think about Arch Manning? So he's going to start next year without a doubt. What are y'all's predictions in terms of, his career? Do you think he's going to pop off? Like, will he follow the legacy?
Stone hopes he breaks his ankle tomorrow because he's not a Texas fan.
Truth be told, I'm glad that because the only thing that I can weigh in on, I don't watch it, the Longhorns enough, but I will say with the Aggies being Aggies and Jimbo being Jimbo, another disappointing year means I have to find some other way to entertain my college football season. And so what that looks like is paying attention to how Texas is doing. And it's a struggle, but I think that I found myself rooting for them. So whoever ends up starting next year that brings them the best success, I want to see good games, and obviously we all want to see SEC succeed, which means we want Texas No U to excel so that we can finally put this Big 12 versus SEC conversation behind us, right?
I was hoping Arch was going to get in the game yesterday, but apparently not.
Yeah, I don't think it's cut and set in stone that he's going to start next year. I don't get to watch enough because I'm up here watching Jarrell film, but is Quinn doing well enough to go to the NFL and be, because you're going to have there's a lot of top prospects this year with Caleb Williams, Drake May, the Penix kid from Washington. I feel like there's someone else I'm missing, to where he's not going to be one of the top picks, and it may serve him well to come back and maybe be a top pick next year. But I don't know how well. And I'm just going off box scores and kind of by numbers. He's doing all right, but is he? I guess I never hear his name floated around as one of the top prospects in this year's quarterback class.
It's a thick class, but that might be a perfect segue into the NIL conversation if Xavier was going to get there, because nowadays you don't have to go to the draft to make money. So
right,
Arkansas is in a similar situation. And speaking of struggling through a football season, Stone, I can commiserate with you. But KJ Jefferson, our starting quarterback, he's going to make more money in college than he ever will in the NFL. So he's not going to get drafted. And whether he believes that or not, I don't know. But he may have a COVID year of eligibility, be a seventh-year senior, and make more money than he would in the NFL. So, yeah, to Andrew's point, it's a thick draft class, but then also he's not sacrificing much income, in my opinion. He's going to stay there and make millions.
By the way, what are the ranges these guys are getting paid, right? I've heard Shador Sanders is making like $2 million per year, something like that.
I've heard he's making 6 or 7.
Really?
6 or 7 mil. And
if you count his endorsements, I mean, he's on commercials now.
Yeah, that's part of it, And I heard the 2 top earners right now are Shador and then Bronny, and Bronny ain't even played a game yet, but he's got the namesake, he's got the legacy, he's on social media and all this other stuff. They're making multi-million-dollar deals in college.
It's so wild. It kind of changes everything, right? Now the goal is to just get to college and get an NIL deal and maybe go pro. But I feel like the goal right now is just get to college and try to land a couple mil per year.
I'm cut and torn about the NIL stuff. I like it. I don't, and I even like the transfer stuff, except I wish you could only transfer one time without there being a penalty. What I don't like is that these kids are now having to, you can go to college, right? And if you don't like how something's going on, well, I'm just going to transfer. And you never have to kind of fight through anything. You never have to go compete for a job. I shouldn't say never, right? But you don't have to go compete for a job. You don't like how you're getting treated. You don't like this, that, or another. Boom, I just leave. Instead of trying to find a way to make it work, trying to, better yourself. And, there's this deal that I saw recently with Tom Brady. So when he was in Michigan, at the beginning of his career, he was getting 2 reps in practice and he was having a hard time with it. And so he went to go see the sports psychologist or whatever. And basically it came down to the sports psychologist said, hey, when you go in there for those 2 reps, make them perfect. Okay. Go in there like it's the Super Bowl and go make the most out of your reps. And he goes, eventually he went from 2 reps to 4. Then he went from 4 reps to 9 reps. And then went from 9 reps to splitting reps, and then splitting reps to I'm the first team guy. But now it's well, I'm not getting what I want, so I'm just going to leave. And I don't know how much we're teaching. And then the other deal with my NIL stuff is for Stone, when Johnny Manziel was at A&M, Manziel was making that school millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? And I think Johnny should have got it, but I think the NIL deal has gone crazy because I don't know how you do it, but there's no guardrails on anything. And so, do I think that Johnny should have been getting all the or at least a portion of the money from all the 2 jerseys that were sold? Hell yeah. And he should have been getting some money, but now it's just like, it's crazy to like, I almost feel like you should have to play for a year or 2 before you can get any NIL deal, something like.
But why, Andy? I got to push back. But why? Why do you have to play for a year or 2 for free before you get money? You're 18. You can go work. Everybody else that leaves.
I understand that. I just I don't like people getting things that they have not earned, per se, if you will. And so, these, I guess basically these schools, and I get why it's like this, but these schools they're able to get these recruits because we're going to pay you more money. Well, the kid hadn't even done anything yet. Like, it's kind of like whenever in the NFL with quarterbacks, or actually in the NFL draft, Sam Bradford comes in, never played an NFL down, and he's like a top 5 paid NFL quarterback. And he was never very good. So, you should almost kind of have to prove and not to say you can't get money from jerseys that were sold off of you, but I don't know. And I don't know how it is. I just kind of wish you had to play and show that hey, I'm actually good before you get money.
Well, look, man, I think the free market is the free market. I actually agree with this approach, right? Let's say you get your first job at 18 and you've never worked before. Remember that summer you spent at that construction plant or that steel mill, whatever it was? Yeah. You had never worked before, but they agreed to pay you a certain amount per hour with 0 experience. What's the difference here, right? I mean, look, people are betting on your potential, and I think that you should totally be able to capitalize on your potential. And look, if you suck, I think they can cancel the NIL deals after the contractual agreement. It's not like they're going to pay you that for life, right? And also, if you think about it, there is inherent and intruent value. Your name, if Bronny goes to USC, they sign him to a deal. He's going to sell so many jerseys. They calculate that ahead of time. There's value to the university too, to the employer, if you will. Yeah.
I get it. This summer we drove to South Carolina and we stopped in Tuscaloosa for a night because there ain't nowhere else to stop out there. But we stopped in Tuscaloosa for a night and we drove around Alabama campus. What I noticed about Alabama campus, there's a lot of nice new buildings on that Alabama campus. And we all know it's because of Nick Saban, the football, and all the players that have come through there. These colleges are making millions and millions of dollars. I don't know. It's I get it, and I'm not mad at him for it. I just wish there was not to say it's free or anything or not free. Sorry, a fair way to do it. But I think I don't know. You should almost have to prove that you can play, and I'm more than just. I guess I'm more than just a name before I start making money.
And to both of your points, I think, as with any policy change, you're going to see we were on one extreme. Players were being taken advantage of for their name, image, and likeness. And now we've introduced this policy. It's going to pendulum until it comes to an equilibrium point, right? And that might look like, to Andrew's point, that might look like creating an incentive-based payment so that your actual performance is what makes you money on the field outside of your name being used for jersey sales and stuff like that. But then also, to Xavier's point, that still allows them to make money the moment they come in because there is an investment in them and they're already bringing value to their employer, so to say, in the university.
I mean, if you look up these colleges, the colleges that go up in enrollment are the ones that are good at sports. And so you only get that because of these players that are coming in there and they're making it. And they're making that school, well known and everything. And do I think that these players should just be getting full scholarships and have to be living, damn near the poverty line whenever there's not enough time to get a job? No, I don't. But I don't know. I just I don't have a right answer. It's just I know something's off, and I don't know how to fix it or anything. But it is what it is.
Well, I think there's risk with being a college athlete. You could day one in practice blow your knee out and you have nothing, right? So I actually appreciate these deals that these kids are getting. At least it guarantees you something. And like Josh was saying, over the history of college sports, people have been reaping massive profits off these people. So I understand, to you, Andrew, it sounds like an over rotation. Probably is, right? The amount of money these kids are getting at 18, it's an over rotation, but it is what it is. And
I would rather it be like it is now than it was before NIL. So like if I have to pick one, I would rather this. I just, like I said, I don't know where the guardrails are, where the bumpers are to kind of steady the car at all. But I think something kind of needs to change ish, and I don't know what it is. So
what do you think, Caleb?
I was just wondering, what about the education that they're getting to go play that sport there? They don't have to pay for that education.
So that's not completely true. That's true for pretty much football players.
Yeah.
Right, football and basketball, but like baseball, for instance, baseball has like 12 or 13 scholarships and there's 30 players on the team, and so
True.
you look at that's a lot of partial scholarships. Same for track. Hey, Bell, great job with the golf. They're pretty much full scholarships, but like swimming and diving and some of these other ones, like that have larger rosters, they don't. The only one who really has large rosters and gets full scholarships is football. Right. Everybody else is not privy to that, and so there are actually a bunch of kids who are having to pay money to go to college, even though they are playing the sport full time, and even though they are on scholarship.
Well said.
Great facts there. Glad we got Andy.
Yeah, Andy brings up good points. In this conversation, we always talk about the NIL in terms of one sport, football. Yeah, and I don't think any of us were expecting Andrew to bring up the good points that he just made. Is that this policy is trying to protect all student athletes, right?
Right.
And so what does that policy look like going forward? Do they have to modify it per sport, or do we have to just accept the fact that it's going to be tailored towards the sport that everybody looks for, and then the other students are either going to benefit or suffer from that? It's going to be a decades-long learning process.
Yeah, it is. But like, in all honesty, like football is what allows the other sports to have the funds to play. And so, like, people complain about NBA salaries versus WNBA salaries. Well, it's the money you bring in.
That's a great argument right there. I hate that no offense to them, but women's sports don't bring in the money like men's do. And I agree with that. I think you should get paid from what you bring in. And technically speaking, all women's sports lose money. Like, tell me the last time like the WNBA had money coming in that fulfilled their contract agreements with the players. Like, they're losing money left and right. So,
and I think they're subsidized, Caleb, by the men, by the actual NBA, right? They help pay for their salaries and they help fund the league.
I don't know.
I was about to say, I didn't know about that either.
The NBA funds the WNBA.
That's even worse then. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's not fair, but I mean, you can't pay money that's not there.
Yeah. But yet they want to sit there and argue it. And it's like, well, then get some more people to come and watch your sport, because I'm sorry, but y'all are garbage to watch.
From an entertainment standpoint, yes.
From a what?
Entertainment standpoint, yes.
Yes.
Man, you know who said something really interesting about the WNBA was Shaq. He said, "Why don't you lower the rim, not a foot, but rim. Like something like that, 8-foot rim." I would watch it if it was an 8-foot rim. Honestly, I would.
Yeah, man, they'd be slamming all over the place.
And I think at an 8-foot level, girls would actually be doing windmills and stuff. Like, they would have enough room there to get it in. So,
I bet a bunch of them could at least get their head over a 8-foot rim, I would think.
Yeah,
or at least up to it anyway.
We'll probably see it happen at some point in our lives when people come to their senses. But excuse me, gentlemen, let's shift to the GFL, which is why we're here. We've been a part of this league, some of us for about 11 years now. Some of us are newer, rocking and rolling. We got Andy in the mix. First thing I wanted to talk about, first place, Mr. Stone. Congratulations. You're in first place after these weeks. Well done. Although we do need to talk about Nate Sumner, who is probably a likely candidate for next year to bring into the league. I wanted to ask a couple questions. Stone, how do you feel about that team that he drafted you? I think I know how you feel. And then the second question is, Andrew, How do you feel about potentially having your little brother, who, no offense, seems to be the best drafter in fantasy football history, going against you starting next year?
Go ahead, Stone.
Well, I will tell you that when I found out that Nate was going to be available to draft for me, I was like, yeah, oh yeah, here we go. And when I got done with work and finally got to look at the draft, I was like, that's it. That's I couldn't have done that. There's no way. And I immediately thought that is the best drafted team in this size of a league that I could have ever hoped for. So yeah, I'm not a big in any of the leagues I've ever been in. I'm not a big transaction guy. I rely heavily on my drafted team. I've been hurting this year on running back because Mr. Caleb took old Achan in the waiver the week that I was really hoping to snag him. So I've been struggling there, but I don't want to devalue Nate by making a poor trade for one of the players that he fought so hard to get me to create this team, even though I might have to, in which case I might be consulting him once again. And I think that it's fair to say that if this year ends in some money, Mr. Nate Sumner is going to have to share in that.
For me, I've been in the league with Nate for I don't know how many years now, and he's really good at drafting. Where he's really even better is he's better at trades, and I guess he's got time to do it. I can't find time to do it. I wish I was able to make more trades and look and figure stuff out. But if he's in the league next year, you guys can consider yourself. Lucky is not the right word, but you'll be getting a lot more proposed trades for you or to you, and a lot of them you'll be like, no, I would never do that. But really, what I think he does is he wears you down, he wears you down, he wears you down. Eventually, you just accept something where you're just like, I'm tired of him proposing trades to me. And you just accept it, and he wears you down like that. But now I'm gonna have to throw Nate under the bus a little bit. I'm in a league with another league with him that I'm in with my college buddies that he's in, and he couldn't make the draft this year, so Mallory actually drafted for him, and his team's doing really well, and Mallory did the draft for him. So I don't know.
Maybe we bring in Mallory instead of Nate.
And so I love another league with Nate. Nate came up with this league called the Guillotine League. And so I don't know where he saw it, but what it is it's basically I think there's 16 teams, something like that. But each week, whoever the lowest point scorer is cut from the league, right? And then next week, and all their players are dropped to the waiver wires. And then the same deal goes on and on and on until, there's two teams left playing in the championship. And last year, Mallory and I were playing in the championship, and she beat me. So Mallory's played fantasy one time, and she won. So now I got a fantasy football wife for forever because I let her win. I didn't let her win. I didn't let her win. She beat me fair and square. Cooper Kupp screwed me by getting hurt last year. But yeah, she beat me. So yeah.
In the waiver on that one, do y'all have like a price limit where y'all are bidding for players?
So you have a $200 budget for the year, and it's also an auction draft. So we do auction draft. And then there's a $200 budget you have for the year. And then obviously, like whenever a team gets cut, all their budget money's cut, right? And so all their players are dropped. And so it kind of fluctuates. Like this past week, I paid $100 for Christian McCaffrey. Because I hadn't really spent hardly. I spent like $3 all year because I had put in for stuff, but I didn't get any of them. And so, it was just like it's getting to that time to where, better players are getting put out on the waivers each week. And so teams are starting to get better. Teams are starting to get stacked a little bit. And, the price changes because of how much money someone already spent versus how much money you have left. And so it all changes. It's fun, though. You never know what's going to happen. And, it's a blast, that league. It's weird. It's weird, but it's fun.
That'd be intriguing to do.
Is that when you make those bids for those players? I've never played in an auction league. Is it open bidding so that you're aware of who you're fighting for the player against, or is it blind?
It's blind.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
blind. And so
brutal. That's
one of the
brutal.
first, yeah, one of the first ones, who didn't, I think Mallory got, shit, who'd she get? Well, let me look at her team real quick. She got Patrick Mahomes because she got Patrick Mahomes like week 1 or 2, and I've never seen anything like this before. She bid like 103 on him. Garrett had bid 102 on him. Someone else had bid 101. Two people bid 100, and someone bid 99 on him.
That's
Like,
Mallory's math skills. She probably
Oh,
called
yeah,
some
dude.
pause. She probably called some pause.
And then there's stuff like last year to where, like when I went in for Cooper Cup, it was towards the end of the year, and I only had $77 left. But I was like my team was full. Like all I needed was they're all plug and play guys. And so like I was like, you know what, I'm going for it. I'm gonna bid 77 for it. I'm gonna be done. But like my team is set. All the bye weeks were done. It's done. So I bid 77, and I go look at the offers. No one else had bid anything. And I don't know why they didn't bid anything. It was just like they decided not to bid anything. And so like I spent $77 for a player I could have gotten for free, or a player I could have gotten for $1. But it's crazy with the bidding because you never know what anyone's going to do.
Well, it's kind of the same thing with the regular waiver, right? You put in a waiver claim. Sometimes you didn't
Right.
need to do that. It drops you to the bottom of the list.
Based off now, there is regular waivers to where if like you and I tie, whoever is higher up on the waiver order, it goes to that person. So like that rarely happens.
Right.
Yeah, and so it's just based off your budget. You have a $200 budget for the year, and however you decide to spend it, how you decide to spend it.
All right. Question I have for all of you: who's your dark horse this year? I asked this question last week to Caleb, but who's somebody that's maybe in the bottom half of the standings? And I'll read them off to you. So number 5, we've got Mother Tucker, excuse me. And then number 6, we got Cameron, Big Buffalo Brand. Number 7, Mr. Aaron Bell, Play on Words. 8, Bass Cooker. 9, Dealing a Chubb coming on, which is Chad. And then me, I'm in last place. Who's the dark horse? And then the first part of the question, second part of the question, who is in the top 4 or 5 that you think is going to have an abysmal rest of the season? I'll go first on the abysmal part.
I'm doing some research here.
Check it out. I can share my screen as well so you guys can see the standings. But in terms of somebody that's in the top 4 or 5 that I think is going to have a complete drop off is Patrick, right? So if you look at his points for and points against, I think he's points for tied for or he's second to last, and points against he is last. So I think reality is about to set in for old Patrick here. Look at that, 585 for 541 against. So I think he's had pretty much a pillow fight the entire season, and he's got a lot of injuries. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm only capable of doing that exact thing, so I have no idea. But like, if we're just going off that alone, yeah, Patrick would be the one that you would think would drop out, and then the dark horse would have to be Caleb with all his points scored. But you know, I can't get into roster. So like, if you look at me, I should be near the bottom, but that doesn't take into account trades that have happened. So like, I just had that huge trade with Xavier and Joseph that I totally screwed you guys on because you took Justin Jefferson and he got on the IR the week after. So, like, I think I'm going to score a lot more throughout the rest of the season just based on what I have. But I'm still looking to make some trades. But yeah, just currently, you'd have to think that Caleb's the dark horse and Patrick's the one that's going to slip. But I don't know what their transactions are.
Yeah, I think looking at it, I agree. Caleb is a scary team. But what I'll say is if forever hung, if you can find a way to win some games, and you're probably going to get one this week because you're playing me and my team sucks. I like you guys, if Justin Jefferson gets healthy, you got Lamar and Joe Burrow at quarterback. And so I got to think Burrow is going to be better. Like he's going to be better. He's going to be more consistent. Eckler hadn't been healthy all year. He'll be good. You know, who knows about the Lions running backs with like Montgomery. If he kind of, if Gibbs can kind of take it over a little bit, he's the guy. And then you got Olave and then Jefferson. Then, you know, for flex, you kind of got Swift, you got Puka. You got Brees Hall kind of coming back, getting healthy. Like that's a good, solid team right there. To where if they get in the playoffs, I wouldn't want to see them. And honestly, I think my team has a little bit of pretender status to it. Yeah, I'm not. I'm really worried about my team.
Aren't you averaging somewhere around like 110, 115 though?
I don't know, maybe, but I don't feel great about my team, to be honest. Now, I would feel a lot better if if Aaron Rodgers was playing quarterback, because I think Garrett Wilson would be a lot better. Um, but like I like my two running backs I have. Like I like Waddle and Wilson. I think they're both good players. Um, but I think I got some pretender status, and I really don't have a flex. Like I would trade my team right now for Forever Hung's team in a heartbeat.
I mean, I like to wheel and deal, Andy. 12 for 12? The
Right?
whole team?
I'd pay money to see that trade.
Dude,
Aaron, I would do it.
Team
I have
for
to console
team. Team for team.
Console with Joe, but team for team. I think I would do it.
This is
No
spicy.
way.
I will consult with Joe.
Hey, what kind of
Team for team?
NIL deal do you need, Andy, to make that happen? I got some boosters. I'll kick in $5-10.
I'm 100% good. I do like my defenses, the Bills and the Steelers, but like
Is McCaffrey playing this week? Have they said or not?
it's leaning towards him playing.
Damn. Okay.
It's leaning towards him playing, but like I just yeah. I'm not a big fan of my team.
I wasn't a fan of your team the week you played me either, you bitch.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just like I think my team's just very inconsistent, to be honest.
All right, I just pinged Joseph to see what he thinks about that. I would do it because,
dude, that would be hilarious. I wonder if that's ever been done.
I don't think
like
so.
in the history of fantasy football in general, not even just in our league.
Most definitely it's been done. It's definitely been done.
Team for team.
I'm sure somebody's done it, right? But it's not very common, obviously. But yeah, I would totally be on board with that. I like that.
What a fun league that would be. Like I love the guillotine league, but what if you had a league that there were some rules, and I don't know how you would do it, but you were forced to swap teams, like with someone else, like maybe from a punishment standpoint, but either for being too good or too bad. I don't know. That would be a fun concept of a league.
You're like the last four. If you're the last 4 point scorers, like by the mid-season or something, you had to swap teams with someone. I don't know.
Man, if y'all could come up with something like that, that would be fun to see.
Yeah, right. So but if someone had a really good team,
yeah,
and they had to swap with the last place, then the last place could just stick with that really good team and continue to win.
Right.
You'd have to have some other things in there to make them
force
them to drop.
What if it's a punishment? What if it's like a 2 or 3 week punishment? You swap teams for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they get all swapped back.
Ooh. Like, what if you're in first place, but you go on like a losing streak? Sorry, Josh, real quick, I'll give it to you. If you lose like 3 or 4 games in a row in first place, then you have to swap with somebody in 12th place for like 2 weeks. Actually, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, you'd have to do something like that, but it'd have to be. You have to keep your team name, but you'd have to swap players. I guess is the better way to say it.
You wouldn't be able to make any roster transactions or anything like that. Like you'd have to.
What if it wasn't just the first place team? Like, what if we did our whole, like all 10 teams, like the 5 teams in the front and the 5 teams in the back had to swap for like 2 weeks and then swap back. How fun would that be if the losing teams won for the winning teams though, and then the other teams lost and they swept back and it didn't even change anything.
Call it like the record pineapple league.
I've actually had some thoughts on this. So this discussion is a great forum for me to bring this in. I was thinking that it would be fun if the winning team of a matchup got to choose one
One player.
starter from their team and one starter from the other team that they get to swap, right? So you get to steal someone's starter if you beat them and give them one of your starters.
Yeah,
And
to the
that
victor
could-
go the spoils. I like it.
Yeah, you know, and it's
Ah.
a little bit, you know, so like it's kind of like a forced waiver transaction every
I was
week.
gonna say a forced trade transaction.
Yeah, exactly.
That's intriguing.
And I think that would be a lot more manageable for, you know, Mr. Joseph, because God Almighty, could you imagine what he'd have to do to swap an entire team weekly? You know, poor guy. He does too much pro bono for this already. We'd have to start paying him a
I think it's pretty close to time we give Joseph a free entry into the league.
Hey,
We
what
had-
you
we
do,
had-
Stone, is I like where you're at, Stone. With the ESPN's undroppable list, you are not allowed to trade or get someone from their undroppable list. So you're not taking, like, for me, when you beat me, you won't be taking Christian McCaffrey,
Yeah.
but you'd have to take one of their other starters who aren't on the undroppable list,
Like their
and you
flex
could
or
do
something.
something like that.
yeah.
I don't like it.
I like
that's
it.
sneaky.
Starter for starter. I kind of like it.
And you know, there's a little bit of trolling mentality in there, because if I felt comfortable going into a week, I might try and put someone trash on my starter, right? And then that's who I would trade away if I happen to secure the win for someone on the other team, right?
But if
Because
you don't
you
win-
wouldn't be able to, but then if you don't win, exactly. Yeah. So
I kind of like
there's some
it.
potential there.
I think we need to next year have an experimental league. We have our normal, and then we kind of have this subset where we have an experimental league. We can get whoever we want to play in it and just see what happens. Come up with some crazy rules.
Dude, that would be awesome.
And if we did that, the question is that an experimental league is a good idea, because we could draft in our normal league and then just say, all right, this draft works for both. And we're going to try the standard format, and then we'll try the experimental format with the same teams that we drafted, and kind of see how we like that.
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
Sounds good. We'll put it into the minutes. Andrew, I know you're taking notes right now on the podcast and not.
No, Malia's about to have a game start, so I'm gonna stream it.
Okay, real quick.
Playing what?
Softball.
Oh, okay. In October?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we got a tournament this week. Got a tournament next week. We'll play in November.
I'm assuming this is a select league.
Ish, yeah.
Okay.
Where's she playing, Andrew?
It's this team called the Buzz. There are a lot of like academy kids, some Holland kids, and things like that. Kind of smaller town kids.
But where are they physically playing?
Oh, in Temple.
In Temple.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Best of luck to her. One thing I wanted to bring up. So I've been pressing Pete. You guys know I like to press Pete. I like to shit talk a little bit. All right.
A little?
Pete's the king of it. So I've been pressing Pete on this week 11 bet, and now I feel like he has no choice but to accept, because we are dead last. There's no chance we win. Okay. I bet him $300. He's not responded, not accepted, yada yada.
Oh, okay. So that one text you sent in the group chat was a lie.
It was fluff.
Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to bait him into it, right?
I got you.
So what are y'all's thoughts on him not being, even if he countered with like $50, I would totally take it. Here's my thing, right? So look, the GFL takes a lot of time, a lot of hours. If you really want to be good at it, like Pete or Andy or the rest of you guys, it takes time. And if you win $700 or $800. To me, that's not sexy whatsoever. For the amount of time you put in. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money. It is, but the amount of time it takes to be that good. So I like to make these side bets. And I like to razzle up the league. And I feel like you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, like to pay attention when I try to bet Pete some money, then it's like, okay, then it makes it more exciting. So I like the side bets. But, what do you guys think about that? Can I get some input on him not accepting my bet?
Well, I'm looking at the box score, or it's week 11, but I'm looking at this thing online, and he's got the advantage in every single position except one receiver, and you're winning one receiver matchup and the defensive matchup, because right now it's empty. So I mean, odds are highly in Pete's favor to take $300 off of you.
But I don't know what it is, but I feel like Sadat has this curse against him. Whenever you try to bet him, it always comes out in his favor. No matter what.
Yeah, it's but like I said before, Sadat and Joe's team scares me.
What happened? What happens if y'all do that full team trade and then it turns out that in that week
He
11?
should definitely do it. He should definitely do it then. If we do the full team trade, he should definitely do it.
You're muted, Sadat.
Sadat, you're still muted.
Exactly. Yeah, Sadat, you're muted.
Oh, sorry, folks. I was saying, I just want Pete to bet me something, whether it's $200, $300, $2,000.
Whatever.
I would even take that bet, whatever it is. But I just want a little meat on the bone because me and Pete have been going at it for years and years and years. And I like a little cash bet, especially one where there's like a 7-week lead time. How fun is that, huh? That's a lot of shit talk. And I think it makes the league better.
Go on between now and then.
Yeah, you never know, but I'm willing to bet.
Yeah.
Look, we're in last place, and I'm willing to put some money on it. But Pete just doesn't respond. He's over there eating his Cheetos and stuff. I don't know what he's doing. His spicy Cheetos. So.
When would you cut the bet off? Like how are you gonna do it? Like the day up to the day before? Are you gonna cut it off at like a 2-week mark?
No, I mean I don't know. Maybe I would probably still take the bet, even if I lose. It's okay. But I would rather do it now, Caleb, with this much lead ramp. Because I think that's fun, and it's a lot of.
To me, I think Pete's looking at he would prefer to know what his team is at that point because you don't know what trades, who's going to get injured, and Pete's not going to put a gamble on that.
As would any sane person, yes. But the fun is it's kind of a blind bet, so maybe we can push them.
I think blind bets is fun too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this podcast for a minute because. It's casual. We're friends, but Xavier, you look very far from casual. I'm in my, I'm gardening today, and Josh is chilling in his hotel room, and
I'm in my
got a big old. You're in the classroom. Caleb's chilling. Xavier, you look professional. It's got me scared a little bit. I'm gonna get fired on Monday, I think.
I forgot to tell you guys. I'm now a pit boss at the local casino, and this is the jacket they give me. So I don't know. What do you want me to do? I just came from work. Are you judging me, Aaron, for being a working man? Like, what is this?
Yes, I'm judging
you. Judgment all the way.
They had to make Xavier a pit boss so he'd stop taking their money.
That's what I was going to say.
Anyway, I'm going to open up. Yeah, go ahead.
How's the married life going?
It's going great, man. I got to tell you guys, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my entire life.
Good.
It's so incredible.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
Even today, like just a random day today with Ivana, man, it was just great. I don't know.
That's
just
all.
What y'all gonna do
for you?
Today we took a walk through the Belgrade Fortress, and
nice.
Last night we had a surprise birthday party for my buddy Riley. He's from Tennessee. He lives here, and I don't know. We just woke up this morning and kind of cuddled each other and just said, "I love you a lot." And, it's just awesome, man. I don't know what to tell you. Being in love is really cool, and yeah, it's awesome. It makes me tear up a little bit.
For you.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. We're trying to have a kid now. Just an update. We're trying to have a baby, so hopefully that comes at some point.
Hey, practice makes perfect. All right.
Hey, buddy. I heard you know how to swing. That's what Mallory said. So, just kidding.
Andy just flops it on the table.
Xavier, you do know which hole you have to use to actually have kids, right?
Yeah, the ear.
I really thought he was going to say the mouth.
No, it's awesome, man. I'm really happy. I'm really happy. So, but what else do you guys want to talk about? Let's open up the floor to whatever is going on in the last 10 minutes here.
Well, I do need y'all to stop scoring so many points against me because I'm tired of this losing. Stone brought that up the other day, and I wanted to bring that up today because I'm irritated at this shit. Like how I had the most points scored up until this last week, and that's only because Stone outscored me by like 60 freaking points. And
thank you, Nate.
Nate, thanks. You son of a bitch. So I'm gonna need y'all to stop that so I can have a chance to make the playoffs again. So please and thank you.
Well, let's see what we have going on currently. So, how are the matchups playing out right now? How's everybody doing?
Oh, Forever Hung is whipping my ass right now.
Let's
Is he
take a
really?
look there.
Yeah, 37.5 to 9.6.
Ooh.
Well, we still,
Good.
that
Lamar
that
Jackson's
very
going crazy.
the very accurate chance to prediction says that y'all are still pretty close, though.
That
Yeah,
very
but
accurate.
That thing is super accurate.
Dang, Chatty actually having a week right now.
Where is Chad? Oh yeah, he putting it on, old Pete.
Uh-huh. What is
I
Pete?
love to see
Is
it. Get his ass, Chad.
Is Pete 3-2 or 4-1?
Pete's 4-2.
Pete's 4-2. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, we in the 7th week? God dang. That's right, because I'm 2-4.
I can't get nothing by you, Sherlock.
Thank you. I do what I can.
Let's see here.
Hey, but look at this projection here, Andy. 119.6, 119 even.
Oh, I just
it's
got
going to be a
Mark Andrews, baby. I need but I need Buffalo's defense to go crazy, and they're playing the freaking Patriots and Mac Jones, and they're not doing jack crap.
not yet. It's early though.
Like they've let the Patriots score 13 points already. They don't know if they've scored 13 points all year. Like what the hell?
Which you gotta love to see Belichick taking those L's, man.
Oh, I love it, dude.
Worst season in his career. I love it. I'm like, yep. Thank you for showing us that Brady was the GOAT and the reason.
Hey, as a coach, I can tell you, it's about the Jimmies and the Joes, not so much the X's and the O's.
Woo! Got him.
By the way,
Damn,
Andy, who's that was pretty good. A lot of alliteration there. Hey, listen, Andy, who's the guy at Jarrell right now in terms of athletes?
The guy currently at Jarrell right now is probably, I guess it would probably be Mason Dotson. Sandy.
Really?
Yeah. So he's playing receiver for us, and through what are we 7? Hold on, 7 games. 8, yeah, through 7 games, he's got 1,100 yards receiving, 1,150.
Wow.
And like 11 touchdowns. He's good. And then we had
Mason Dotson, dude. I've known him since he was like this big.
Yeah, no, he's really freaking good. And so I try to make sure we get him the ball a lot. I tell him, hey, make sure you hydrate because you're about to get a lot of these targets. He'd be a great fantasy play for you this week.
How old is he?
He's a senior.
Ah.
And so we also had another guy who was a senior, Jaquise, who was Charles's nephew, Charles Bradley, his nephew.
D's son?
Huh?
Is it D's son, D'Artagnan's son, or whatever his little brother's name is?
Not Latishka.
Oh,
shit.
I can't think of the name. I know who you're talking about. The older one. Yeah,
it was Janitra's son, and he was he's actually a 3-star kid, who moved to Pflugerville Weiss this year, and he's doing really well. He's actually on a visit to Kansas State this weekend, like an official visit to Kansas State this weekend.
That's what's up.
So he would have been like the dude. He's a great athlete.
How big is Mason?
He ain't big at all.
He's tiny, dude.
Yes,
he's tiny.
He's like probably 5'9", 150 pounds.
Oh, so he's bigger than Dotson though was.
Yeah, I mean, not much, not really. I mean, a little bit,
probably
but
the same size.
Like he just understands how to play. He's really good. Yeah, he's really good. If I could,
those Dotsons are just
show you guys some
scrappy.
film, you guys would be like, "Holy crap!" Yeah, he's really good though.
Hey, Andy, question for you. You're at Jarrell now. Your dad has been there since forever and a day. Any plans to, like, what are your aspirations? Do you want to step up to the next level or do you want to stay at Jarrell? Like, what are your plans? Do you want to go to the next level?
Next level being college?
Yeah.
No.
Or porn. I don't know, whatever it is.
No. No, because honestly, all that is for me is it's simply recruiting. Like, I don't want to go recruiting. And the other deal is like with college, there's so much movement. Like I like kind of being where I'm at and building it from within. and going that way. And so this year I'm actually the boys athletic coordinator this year. And so it's kind of like it's the AD, and then right below the AD is the girls athletic coordinator, which is Coach Brown, and then the boys athletic coordinator, which is me. And so we're right below him, our coach right now, and he's probably going to retire in probably 2 years or so. I mean, he can retire at any time he wants to now, but I mean, maybe I become AD here, maybe I don't. I don't know. Eventually, I want to become AD, but we'll see how things go. I like where I'm at right now. I like what I'm doing. I like my job titles. And so I'm not looking to move right now by any means, but there's a lot of construction in Jarrell that's really kind of getting on my nerves. And
Don't be soft, Andy. Come on. It's just a bulldozer.
it's everywhere.
Relax.
Like I can't, it's by my house, it's by where I work, it's by like I can't go anywhere without there being construction. I'm sick and tired of construction.
Talk to that mayor.
Yeah.
It's Patrick's fault, for God's sakes. We need him on here.
Yeah. But
Mayor Sherrick.
yeah, it's just it's nuts. But I don't know, who knows, but I like where I'm at right now. I really
You'll
like
be
the
AD.
size of the school that we're at, and so I don't really want to go up to college. I don't really want to go 5A, 6A. Like I kind of like the medium to medium large type of school.
And what about your dad? What's his involvement these days?
So he's still head basketball coach. He assists with football, and he can. I mean, he could have retired years ago now, but
Yeah.
I think he likes coaching. So.
Yeah, he's the man.
What's that work dynamic like when y'all are on the same field together?
Well, it's funny as I'm his boss now.
Yeah.
So, but like it's I don't know. It's
So
we're
what
like
is
I'm on offense. I'm the offensive coordinator, and he is he's on the defensive side of the ball now. So I don't know. It's
coaching what? Linebackers?
he's helping coach DBs.
Has your dad ever come to you, Andy, and said, like, Andy, like you're light years ahead of where I was at your age? Has he ever like said, man, I'm so proud of you?
No. Well, I mean, so the closest thing is, and something I always remember is this would have been pre-COVID, so probably spring of 2019. We were running a track meet, an area track meet going to regionals in Converse Judson, and we had won all 3 relays, and we won them going away. Like we did really well. And he came up after, he goes, my gosh, he goes, I've never seen Jarrell like go to these track meets and just kill everybody in all these relays and all this. Like, he goes, God dang it, we're fast. Like, it was like, I've never seen it like that. And he wasn't telling, well, this may have been his way of doing it. Like, he wasn't telling me great job or anything, but like, that's something I'll always remember of like doing things in Jarrell that haven't been done. And I guess, like in track, we've sent 2 kids D1 the last 2 years in track. And so that's been really good. And just, we always talk about, hopefully changing people's lives, changing the trajectory of their lives, maybe opening up their family tree a little bit to things that they weren't really going to have. They may have been born, I'm going to go poker on you here. They may have been born with a hand with nothing in it, maybe 10 high. And, by them working hard, by them doing whatever they need to do, we trade that hand in, and now they go to college. Now they got a full house, right? And then if they do well in college, they can trade that hand in and now have a royal flush because they went to college, they got a degree, they came out debt free, and they're able to do all these different things that they may have not been able to do. So those are the things that I'm trying to do and I really want to do, and I'm able to do for some of these kids. Changing lives.
Andy, I just text you something. So you said you eventually want to be AD. So my grandfather was Jonesboro High School's first AD. So this was back in the 60s, like when ADs were just coming on, like the college scene. And then like high schools were barely getting them. And Arkansas was probably behind Texas. But he became the first AD at Jonesboro High School back then. Actually, I guess it was 75 when he did it. But his superintendent didn't understand the reason for an AD. And so he basically told my grandpa, you've got to write me an essay explaining what the hell an AD does. And so he wrote this essay I just sent you. He wrote it. Someone had it like framed and put on some piece of wood for him, whatever. But he just basically was like, it is the backbone of your athletics are the backbone of your school.
100%.
And so anyway, you need to read it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I will
Send that
appreciate it.
to all of us, Bill. I'd like to read that.
Yeah, cool.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll definitely read that.
I'll just
how
send
long
it to.
was the essay?
It wasn't very long. It was just
Okay.
it was like a page thing. But
Okay.
They-
Caleb's
he's
wondering
had-
if
It's 100% true right now.
yeah, it's he always had it up in his house or whatever. Someone gave it to him, but I thought it was funny. His boss was like, "What do you do here?" And basically, like, to keep your job, you need to show me what you do. And so, like, he had to write this thing, and it's it's somewhat of a boring read, but you kind of like, especially those of us who grew up in the athletics world, and especially in an athletics household.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, dang right. I just sent it to the GFFL. You'll have to explain to everyone the context, I guess. But
So
anyway,
real quick story is like this past week I was in a facilities meeting. We're building a new competitive gym, and so it's supposed to be this like we're trying to build like a Taj Mahal type gym, right? With the bond money and stuff like that. And so we're sitting in this meeting. We kind of told them what we want, and then these architects come in and say, "Well, we think this would be better." Blah 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 blah. And next thing you know, all the other people in the meeting are kind of like, "Oh yeah, that would be very nice. Yeah, that'd be good." And I said, "Hold on, stop." I said, "What are we trying to do? Like, are we trying to be like everybody else, or like, what are we going to do to separate ourselves to like be the standard instead of always being behind and trying to just catch up with everyone else?" I said, "We have an opportunity here. We're going to grow. And so we got to be competitive with Georgetown. We got to be competitive with Eastview, with the Huttos, the Liberty Hills, and all these schools that we're about to be the size of them. Like, we can't be looking at some of these 4A, 3A schools and being like, yeah, they got really nice gyms," which they do. Like, we have to be the standard. Like, we need to change something and be the standard. Like, what are we doing here? I said, this is my
Where's
home.
that come from, Andy? Where's that come from, Andy? Where's that come from? Your thought process on that.
So this is where it comes from. I said, this is my home. I chose to come back here. Like, I don't want to be second tier to anybody. Like, I want to build this place into a destination school, and we have an opportunity to start that. Like, let's be the standard of where people want to go and how we're going to do things and how we're going to conduct ourselves by like building some badass facilities.
Build a dome over the football field.
Huh?
Build a dome over the football field.
Like, we need it. Like, we're going to be getting an indoor here soon, but really, like, to answer your question, Xavier, it's about like this being my home and wanting my home to be looked at upon favorably by everyone else and become a dream school or a destination type school that people have a lot of respect for.
Andy, we need to talk offline because I'm on a steering committee. Jonesboro's doing the same thing. It's for the community, not for the high school, but
right.
It's this massive. It's 200,000 square foot sports complex, and we're planning it. And like I was talking about, like this region of Arkansas is like losing population and all that, and so we're having those exact same conversations. And I didn't grow up here, but like I've had
family though.
I've had family, but I've had the privilege of like moving around Texas, all these different towns, and just like every town has its own pride, has its own vision. But then some towns have it, some towns don't. Like, I don't know. I felt like I've had perspective of like seeing the haves and the have-nots and what the haves did with their opportunity. And so anyway, we need to talk about it because I'm going through the same exact thing, and it's kind of maddening at times.
Yeah. Anyways, hopefully we got on track with the gym though, and we're getting back to trying to do something different, trying to do something upper echelon, and like not being just satisfied with being okay. Huh?
I said word of the day, toilet paper. I like it. Echelon. Some of we're just pulling out words.
No, I love it, Andy. I love it.
It's my SAT word of the day I'm supposed to use.
You just have to The one thing I've always like struggled with those guys is, or it's really the public, honestly, the public voting on what you need. They all have to convince themselves that your community deserves it. You know, most of the argument is like, oh, would it get used? Is it a waste of money? We don't currently have that activity. We don't, you know, and they want to sell themselves short. They need to believe like they deserve to have something better than Hutto, or, but you know, it's like, we can't build beneath them because in 10 years they're going to be building more, and you've got to overdo it. So yeah,
you know, we went,
I can feel
like, and I told them this too. I said, you know, we went to go visit a couple different gyms to see like things that we like, things we don't like, talk to some of their admin and coaches and stuff like that, and kind of get an idea of things to do and not do, blah, blah, blah. And another thing I said there, I said, you know, like, I want to be able to build this gym and people come visit us because of what we did. So don't just copy somebody else. Like, let's take all the good ideas, blah, 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 put them together, but don't settle. Like, do not settle. Like, raise the standard, and the standard has got to be the standard. Mike Tomlin. Love it.
Now, is there an opportunity, Andy, if y'all were to build a complex that would fit your vision, that y'all could become hosts? Jarrell could become hosts to different tournaments or
100%.
playoff levels?
Yeah. Because of where we're at, we said, you know, we want to be able to build this gym to where we can host a regional tournament.
Heck yeah, man.
Like, we
Dude,
can
that
host
would be
playoff
awesome.
games, and whenever people got to meet and they want to go play in the playoff game, they're like, hey, what gyms do you want to go play in? Hey, let's go play in that Jarrell gym. That gym is nice, right? Like, those are the facilities I want to be able to have.
That's awesome.
I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm
A
fired.
little bit bougie of me, but I like it.
I love it.
I'm a little bit bougie.
No, just keep that line of thinking, Andy. Keep voicing that. That's awesome. And obviously, you know, Patrick, he can approve some stuff.
He's doing a good job. He's doing a damn good job.
Yeah. All right, boys, we're at like an hour and 15 minutes. Want to appreciate and say thank you to all you guys for coming. I appreciate it. It's been a long one.
Thanks for setting this all up, Sadat.
I'll see you guys next week if you're available.
I'll let you know, brother.
See ya.
See you, brates.
Hey, good luck.